Is America a Christian nation? Were we founded on Christian beliefs? Were our forefathers all Christians? Although the majority of America think that they were, the majority of America is wrong. I'm going to read to you a few of my favorite quotes by our forefathers. Religious bondage shackles and debilitates the mind and unfits it for every noble enterprise. James Madison. I have never seen the slightest scientific proof of the religious theories of heaven and hell, of future life for individuals, or of a personal God. Thomas Edison. Ooh, here's a good one. The Bible is not my book, nor Christianity my profession. I could never give assent to the long, complicated statements of Christian dogma. Abraham Lincoln. I wasn't really a big fan of old Honest Abe, but that's the whole subject. But he earns points with me there. And before anybody freaks out, no, it's not because he signed off on the abolition of slavery. I think that was a fantastic thing that should have happened long before him. It was that he was pressured into it and took the credit. But whole different story. Okay, let's find us another good one. Another president. I do not believe in the divinity of Christ. There are many other of the postulates of the Orthodox Creed to which I cannot subscribe. That would be William Howard Taft, the president. How about this one here? All national institutions of churches, whether Jewish, Christian, or Turkish, appear to me no other than human inventions set up to terrify and enslave mankind and monopolize power and profit. That would be Thomas Paine. Let's go to a few ladies in the house. I was born a heretic. I always distrust people who know so much about what God wants them to do to their fellows. Susan B. Anthony. How about the Bible and the church have been the greatest stumbling blocks in the way of women's emancipation. Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She was a American suffragist, in case some of you may not be as familiar with her as some of these other guys. But then old TJ breaks it down for you in repeated quotes. So I saved him for last. I do not find in Orthodox Christianity one redeeming feature. Love that one. Christianity is the most perverted system that ever shone on man. Yikes. Religions are all alike founded upon fables and mythologies. The Christian God can easily be pictured as virtually the same God as many ancient gods of past civilizations. The Christian God is a three-headed monster, cruel, vengeful, and capricious. If one wishes to know more of this raging three-headed beast-like God, one only needs to look at the caliber of people who say they serve him. Whew. They are always of two classes, fools and hypocrites. Thomas Jefferson. Those are some of my favorite quotes. Now, let's get into the subject. Were we a Christian nation? Well, it sounds like all those forefathers said no, but it all started with the Treaty of Tripoli. You know what that is? Those of you who paid attention in school? That's right. That is what basically started us as a nation, where it very clearly stated that we are not a Christian nation. It actually says that we are not a Christian nation. Not a Christian nation. So, were we founded on those ideals? No, we were not. Not in the least little bitty bit. Were they mostly Christians? Absolutely not. They were deists. Even Wikipedia says that they all came from Christian families, but then list them as deists. They're not. Deist is not Christian. Okay, deist says, all right, there was a higher power and then he went away, or he's not involved in our day-to-day lives. we have to fend for ourselves. It has absolutely nothing to do with the theistic beliefs of Christianity or any other religions like it. So, no, we were not a Christian nation. So what about under God in the Pledge of Allegiance? Well, do remember that was added in the 1950s, as was In God We Trust, put on all our money in the mid-1950s to counteract the Soviet Union during its time of growing distaste here in our country. The problem is that atheists weren't around then with the capability that we have now to fight off such a horrible thing to be put into our Pledge of Allegiance. If our forefathers knew that you had done that, they would roll over in their graves. But since they're dead, that won't happen because there is no afterlife and none of that stuff. So bottom line is that under God does need to be taken out of our Pledge of Allegiance. Needs to be taken back out of our Pledge of Allegiance, and the In God We Trust taken back off of our money. Do atheists want this stuff to go away? Yeah. Are we trying to get rid of it? Not exactly. We're just trying to put things back the way they were before you screwed them up. So don't be afraid of us atheists. We're just trying to get things back to normal after everything you've done to ruin it all. So are we a Christian nation? I think that very clearly sums up that we are not. From 1776 all the way up to 1954, 1957, when those two changes were added to our money. All that time passed by, and we didn't need it on there then, and we don't need it now. Okay, we don't need prayer in schools. Now, you're not unallowed to pray in school. We're just not going to make it a required prayer in school. That's all that happened. We didn't get rid of prayer in school. We just made it so that, hey, let's stop taking this moment out of our mornings to pray in school, because I don't want to pray. And if I wanted to bow my head and close my eyes, I'd take a nap. No Christian nation, thank you.